Without opposition.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to this very special presentation on Yoga Day. Well, what a beautiful way to start your morning on a Sunday. Practice yoga and explore the full potential and purpose of your life. Yoga is the mother of all sciences and arts, and it is the science of human origin and evolution to a point where you can overcome the boundaries of space and time. It is not the preserve of the recluse and is very much mainstream. Yoga is the highest and all-encompassing system of thought given to us by our ancient thinkers to safeguard individuals, societies, nature, and the whole cosmos. It is indeed a historic moment when the whole world is celebrating the International Yoga Day today, and the need is to take the understanding of yoga beyond the physical limits. To know more about the subject, we interacted with the world-renowned yoga guru, Yogi Ashwini, who is a master of the Indian spiritual and Vedic sciences and the guiding light of Dhyan Foundation. He is a strict adherent of the Guru Shishya Parampara. Yogi Ashwini practices and propagates yoga in its purest form and firmly believes that it is a desecration to buy or sell yoga. He has motivated thousands of mainstream people onto the path of service and charity, and has established that for individuals to evolve to great heights, they have to serve the society. In keeping with his philosophy, his students all over the world conduct free yoga workshops and other charitable activities. So let us hear his views on the purpose of doing yoga, its benefits, and why yoga can't be commercialized. Sir, how do you view the declaration of June 21 as International Yoga Day?
You see, when you talk about International Yoga Day, the declaration, as it has been endorsed by nearly 177 nations. So it obviously is a feather in the cap of India and the Vedic philosophy and the Vedic culture. So the declaration is good. It's a positive step. It's towards progression.
So how will it promote the subject?
The subject, I really don't think it will promote, because the subject, the way yoga is, what yoga is supposed to do, it is projected or is being projected like an exercise. So yoga is not an exercise. जिसको हम लोग कहते हैं व्यायाम. Yoga is not Vyayam. Yoga is something very, very different. It's opening and cleansing the etheric channels and chakras in the body. Unfortunately, that is not being projected, but I hope from Mr. Modi that he would shortly do it, because once a platform has been made, once it has become a forum, I suppose the next step would be this, actually what is yoga would be done, and people who actually understand yoga would be called.
About 40,000 people are assembling at Rajpath to do such a grand display of yoga. What does it really say about this whole event and the significance of this day and the subject?
You see, yes, definitely so many people, and not just here. Like Dhyan Ashram is doing in maybe 20 places, like all over India. Not only India, even in Germany and US, Dhyan Ashram is doing this promotion. Whichever way the Honorable PM is suggesting, we are trying to do it in that same way. It definitely is going to make an impact, because when you see so many people doing something and the name is yoga, at least that brand, that the name is going to be established yoga. So whenever you go, like normally when you wear saffron and go, people think you come with some new kind of scheme. So to make money, of course, to sell something new to them. But once this comes as a platform that the Indian PM is promoting something like this, and it is coming in such a big way with so many people, obviously it's going to have a positive and a very positive impact on the name, on the brand yoga. And like I said, what happens next is going to be interesting to watch. Is the actual subject going to be promoted or not?
But yoga is also seen as synonymous with the Indian culture. So how is it really going to promote the Indian culture?
You see, when you say Indian culture, it's not actually Indian. It's a Vedic philosophy, it's a Vedic culture. Because when you say India, you just limiting it to a very, I would say, a meager landmass. This was not what was India. You can say Bharat, or you can say the Vedic culture. When you talk about the Vedic culture has been documented nearly 4,500 years back. It has been in existence for nearly 50 to 70,000 years. So it already is an established thing, because after even so many invasions, you can imagine, no culture has been able to survive. You take Celts, you say Romans, Greeks, even you would say the forced British occupation of the entire world, where sun never used to set. None of that has survived. But yoga, or the Vedic philosophy, the Vedic culture has grown manifold, specifically after Vivekananda went to the US. It is not expanding, it's growing. The brand yoga, the name yoga I'm saying, that is growing and that is expanding. So this country is, I would say, Bharatvarsh, or the Vedic culture, the Vedic country, is famous for finding this science of yoga. Culturally, I suppose this is the oldest civilization and the most advanced civilization, because as you would know, even the entire algebra has come from Shatpat Brahman. The zero has come from here. Not just the zero, even the distance between sun and the earth has come from this specific very science. So everything has emerged from here. And yoga, which is going to actually reveal to you the final frontier. Not just the body. No, unfortunately, we are limiting it to the body again and again and again, because people understand just the body. So once it is going to reveal to you the final frontier, then the actual essence of the Vedic science is to come into the forefold.
But people keep talking about the mind, body and soul aspect. So what are the benefits of yoga for mind, body and soul?
You see, when you talk about yoga, there is no mind, there is no body and there is no soul. Because it is just one. When what is that one? Om. That's it. The entire creation, the sum totality is in this sound. As you would know, recently Sheffield University did this research. And exactly the same sound came from the sun. And sun is supposed to be Prajapati, the giver of life, the giver of everything which you have here. That is all coming from the sun. So this one sound has come from the sun. So basically when we talk about these energies, we have to understand it's a science of energies. Unfortunately, again, it is being now related to religions. A lot of protests also coming up. It's not correct, but all this is happening. We have to take it as a science. Since everything has come from the Vedas, so this also has come from the Vedas. The first mention was made in the Rigveda, then the Gita mentioned it, then Patanjali Yoga Sutras mentioned it. So it's a science which should be promoted like a science. It is not twisting and turning the body, because this was not prescribed ever in the Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga. It's not jumping around. It's not breathing fast. Yoga is opening and cleansing your etheric channels. And that is possible by Shaktipat only. It is not going to be done by you. You might, have a raise of the hormones in the body when you jump or you breathe fast, and you might feel very good at that time. But don't forget, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So when you're going to jump and dance around and you're going to breathe fast, you're going to feel good for a while. But that opposite reaction and equal reaction would be what? Your body is going to be aging faster, which is apparent in most of the yoga gurus. If you will see, the aging in the body is very apparent, is visible. Now, when the guru gives you Shaktipat inside you, then your nadis get opened. When your nadis get opened, your chakras get activated. When your chakras get activated, then you have the experiences of the subtler worlds through your brain, because a normal person's brain functions at 7 to 8% efficiency. So, but when you open the chakras and the nadis through Shaktipat of the guru and the guru mantra which the guru gives you, that awakens the higher centers of the brain, and that relates you to the higher dimensions, and your experiences, the higher experiences follow from there. So that's why the Guru Shishya is very essential, and opening of the centers and chakras are very essential. It is not the body. The body is only a very minor aspect of the entire creation. It is the reality which the Guru will open inside you. So find a Guru and see what happens.
So you subscribe to the Guru Shishya Parampara. Is it possible to practice this ancient tradition in modern times?
You see, when you talk about the Guru Shishya Parampara, unfortunately now teachers have come, masters have come, trainers have come, philosophers have come, guides have come. But the Guru has taken a back seat, because the Guru Shishya Parampara is the soul of the Vedic philosophy. The Vedic philosophy is there only because of the Guru Shishya Parampara. It has survived only because of the Guru Shishya Parampara. That's why no other civilized culture has survived to this extent for so many years. Why the Vedic philosophy only? Because of the Guru Shishya Parampara only. The Guru Shishya goes beyond commerce, goes beyond the bondages of the Maya. It's the relationship of a pure essence of the entire creation. I would say the entire creation's essence now comes in the Guru Shishya relationship. Everything is there in the Guru Shishya relationship, because there is no progression, there is nothing without the Guru and Shishya. Because when you talk about a teacher, there is a payment to it, and that limits you and binds you, and the point of profit maximization comes. When you want to profit maximize, then there's cost cutting which you have to do. So when you do cost cutting, you compromise on the product. So this is exactly what has happened. It has become a business, a price has been set to it in most of the places, not everywhere though. And that is leading to what now? Profit maximization, because there's competition between the various people. I'll sell mine first, or you'll sell yours first. And that again has brought us to where? Cost cutting and profit maximization, and cost cutting more and more. It's, you're tied into a vicious circle today. Cost cutting, profit maximization. Cost cutting, more profit maximization. Result is what? The product is being compromised. Just because the Guru Shishya has taken, the relationship has taken a backseat today. This is what primarily should be promoted. It is only, or should be allowed to go to the masses only through the gurus, not through businessmen.
Okay. So, what is your message for the world on this day?
You see, when you talk about the world, we say that in the Vedic philosophy, the entire creation is one. We don't have two worlds. The entire globe, and not just the globe, all the various levels of existence that are there, they're all one. The various levels which you see, various dimensions which you talk about, they're all one. This is all one. This is not two. So the message to the entire levels of existences is very clear and precise and concise, that you have to experience yoga. You don't have to have the knowledge of yoga. You have to have the experience of yoga, because the entire science of yoga is the science of Gyan. And Gyan is what? It's something, an experience which you live through. You get knowledge and you convert that into an experience and you live through the experience. So the experience, what I say again and again, it's not about jumping and dancing. It's about the experience of the entire creation, or the experience of the final frontier. And this entire Brahman which you see, again I'll repeat, it's the experience of this. It's the experience of all the gods and goddesses. It's the experience of the entire divinity. It's the experience of the Panch Mahabhut. It's the experience of the entire creation in totality. And each of these things that I'm talking about, each of these things, they are going to be experienced if yoga is done the way it has been prescribed in the Guru Shishya Parampara. If it is practiced like that, each and every experience, each and every siddhi that has been described is going to come to you. It is not just a fallacy or something in a book, that Anima Laghima, all the various siddhis which are coming into Ashtanga Yoga now. They're all facts. Each siddhi is a fact, each experience is a fact. So we must underline and highlight this point, that yoga is real. Yoga is your own experience. It's nobody else's experience. And yoga opens the final frontier to you through your own experiences and giving you siddhis in the process. So it should be done the way the Guru Shishya Parampara or the Vedic philosophers have prescribed it.
So, fine, we heard the world-renowned yoga guru, Yogi Ashwini ji, on the benefits of yoga, on the fact that what exactly is the purpose of yoga. Yoga is real. Yoga has to be practiced in the way as has been prescribed in the ancient scriptures, and it cannot be really tampered with, and there cannot be any commerce, any buying or selling in the name of yoga that can be practiced. Well, joining me in the program now is Mr. Idris Rawa Ouedraogo. He is the ambassador of Burkina Faso. It's quite a privilege, sir, to have you here on the panel. I'm also joined by a student of Yogi Ashwini and yoga practitioner of Dhyan Foundation, who's also a journalist by profession, Mr. Shivan Channa. Dr. M.C. Mishra, who's a director with AIMS, also joins me on the panel. And former Miss India, Nikita Anand, again a yoga practitioner, joins us here. She will be demonstrating a couple of asanas for our viewers today, and she will also be sharing the experiences of being a celebrity and practicing yoga, how it has benefited her life personally. Okay, let me start with you, Ambassador Ouedraogo. You were there at Rajpath today, and you have seen the grand show that happened at Rajpath today. You just heard the views of a yoga guru. What is your what has been your experience around yoga?
First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this privilege and opportunity to be in your platform. I'm the ambassador from a country that we call Burkina Faso, which is a West African country. I spent 3 years as ambassador in India. I'm just at the end of my tenure, so I'm leaving out of India in 2 days just because of Yoga Day. I extend my stay to participate to that. Let me really compliment and congratulate the Prime Minister Narendra Modi for being able really, through his skill and his yogic practice, to lead yoga in the highest platform, which was recognized by United Nations. Generally, what I say is that as a yoga teacher, you know, sometimes it is not easy in the environment like in Africa to explain what is yoga to people, you see. And very easily, there are a lot of confusion between yoga and Hinduism religion. It means that we are doing a lot of effort. And what was achieved by the Prime Minister is the culmination of the different action of masters, gurus, oriented on the West, where yoga became today a world yoga. We have yoga everywhere in each continent. I'm speaking about yoga because I'm in yoga for many years.
Yeah.
So we much complement that.
And
So-
how did it begin in your life?
You see, at my young age, I was in the secondary school, and I was doing a lot of sport. Fortunately, I went in the bookstore, and I found a yoga book, a book of Mahatma Gandhi. In this book, he was saying all the human beings are brothers. I was a little bit surprised and attracted by this book. And I read this book more than 10 times. I discover Mahatma, who he was, how he worked with himself through his fasting system, his vegetarians, his yoga practice, to shape his personality, to be able to lead his country. I was really fascinated. When I read this book, I say, I'm going to start yoga. Immediately, I take a decision. I say to my mom, I want to be a vegetarian. She was laughing to me. She prepared a very good chicken and she put in my room. When I came back from sport, I didn't touch it. And this is how automatically I start to become a vegetarian.
Okay. Which means you started practicing non-violence. I would
Non-violence,
say.
absolutely.
Okay.
So I can say that Mahatma is my first teacher, my
Okay.
first guru.
Okay.
Secondly, the fasting. When I hear about how he was doing his fasting, I say, look, this is at my hand, I can do that. I was doing my fasting every Monday, every Thursday. But the yoga, this was a huge deal. How to know what is yoga? I put a lot of questions to my colleague, but we was all young. And fortunately, another day again, when I was in the bookstore, I saw some Hatha yoga exercise.
Okay.
When I moved through, as a sportman, I said, no, this is easy. So I start to do my asanas through books.
Okay.
But you know, when you do them through books, you confuse them with gymnastic. And it is later on, when I was growing, I was putting questions to my friends, but progressively I was introduced. I was invited in India, in Calcutta, and from Calcutta I was asked to move in the northern India. And this is how, when I reached Rishikesh, the question was asking to me, where are you going, young boy? I say, how many good ashram you have here? They listed me some ashram. I say, okay.
And you found a guru, you mean to say?
I'm going to Swami Rama Ashram. So when I reached Swami Rama Ashram, I was just sitting for the registration. I just saw Swami with saffron clothes, walking very slowly with a long beard. He looked at me and he called me by my name. Oh, Idris from Burkina Faso. This is your home. We was waiting you here for a long time. This is how I met my adopted father. I call him that, Imam Mandaleshwara Swami Veda Bharat, who initiated me on the Himalayan yoga and meditation practice. And my journey just started from that.
Just started from there.
Yeah.
Fine, sir. We'll know more aspects related to that. But
you.
Shivan, I would like to ask you here, you know, the foundation, the Dhyan Foundation, which you represent today, is involved in a number of other activities. And as one hears and as one sees, the guiding light of your foundation has prescribed charity and service as one of the key ingredients of yoga, and you know, as the most important principles of yoga. Is it more beyond the physical fitness aspect that we see and that we keep talking about? What is it that you have experienced?
You see, Shalini, when we talk about yoga, there are certain laws which govern this creation. Like if we are on earth, we are governed by the law of gravity. Similarly, there is a law of karma. Law of karma prescribes that whatever you give comes back manifold. Now, your journey in life, your journey in yoga, your journey to your guru is dependent on your charity and service. Why? Because it depends on your karmas. It's only with a bank of positive karmas that you can reach a guru. And without guru, yoga is not possible, like Yogi Ashwini ji said. At the Dhyan Foundation, Yogi Ashwini ji practices the Guru Shishya Parampara exactly the way it was done thousands of years back. Because you see, yoga is not about fast breathing. Yoga is not about jumping around. Yoga is not about opposites of breathing, anulom vilom, jumping around trees, dancing around trees. Yoga is not about politics. Yoga is not about religion. Yoga sets you free. Yoga is your means to merge with this creation. Yoga is your means to open the etheric channels. Like you see the body, you spoke about the physical body. The body is physical, yes, but there is also an etheric sheath which exists beyond the body. It's something that we have proven even at the Indian Medical Association in Bombay. Yogi ji himself had gone to that platform and performed a live demonstration of what the etheric body is. He had diagnosed 10 patients just on the basis of their photographs in front of a gathering of about 300 doctors. So whatever we say, we demonstrate and we prove along with that. That's the basis of Dhyan Foundation, experience.
Experience.
Yes.
Yeah,
now,
but you know, since you said something about lifestyle, because
yes.
you know, this is in fact taken as a part of the lifestyle. People would like to do it at least once in a day to ensure that, you know, they are staying fit, preferably in the morning. And that's why I think, you know, today the display also indicates the same thing, that introduce it as a part of your lifestyle.
Yeah.
To ensure that you stay fit, to ensure that, you know, the body remains free of all kinds of diseases, from heart disease to diabetes. Maybe Dr. Mishra can tell us more about that. But you said that yoga sets you free. I mean,
yeah.
I would just like you to elaborate a bit more.
Yeah,
on
see,
that.
Yoga sets you free. Why? Because when you practice yoga, like I'll share something personal with you. For a long time, I stayed away from yoga thinking that I'll have to get up at 4 in the morning. I'll have to leave this, I'll have to leave that, I'll have to stop meeting my friends. I'll probably have to leave everything and go somewhere else. No, yoga can very well be practiced in your home. Yoga can be practiced within. Yoga is a lifestyle that you inculcate. It is not something that you force upon yourself. Why? Because in yoga there is no violence. Anything forced upon yourself is a form of suppression. It is a form of violence that you're doing on yourself. No, that's not what yoga prescribes. When I met Yogi Ashwini ji, he never asked me. I had a very to terminate one word, a very wild lifestyle as a youngster, as a teenager. So
which I guess many youngsters have.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I met Yogi ji, I was scared that he'll tell me stop this, stop that. He said just start practicing. He gave me a basic kriya, Sanatan kriya. He said you start practicing this. Let's talk after 3 months. After practicing it, I agreed to what he said. I continued with everything that I was doing. After 3 months, I realized that suddenly I started repelling the smell of smoke. And as an avid smoker myself, I felt that, my body is not accepting it anymore. So with Yogi Ashwini ji, I started realizing that, whatever's wrong for me is automatically leaving me. It's not something that I'm forcing upon myself.
Okay, so you don't have to really give up on anything.
No,
for example, you're eating a non-veg or you're, I want to really understand.
Yeah,
you have to really control your eating habits and your other behavioral traits in order to bring your body into probably that state to practice yoga, to stay in a state of balance. Because you see, when I look at the asanas, I feel very scared because it's actually very difficult to do it unless you have really a flexible body.
See, when you talk about asanas, as I'll go back to what I said, you don't need to force it upon yourself. You don't need to say that I will not do this or I will start doing that. No, find a guru. The guru understands you. The guru will understand your body. The guru will understand your lifestyle. Because see, all of us, we take certain pleasures in our life. That's normal, that's fine. We have our own desires. Those pleasures come with pain. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, which even modern science accepts now. Now, every pleasure will come with its pain. The pain in this form comes with the body starts taking a toll. The etheric channels in your body, they start getting congested. The guru understands your body, the guru understands your lifestyle and gives you specific asanas as per that, gives you specific mantras along with that. Mantras are a science in themselves, which I will come to in a bit. When that mantra is chanted along with the asana, asanas are done asanas basically mean Sukham Sthiram Asanam. That's what Rishi Patanjali has mentioned in the Ashtanga Yoga. In the Patanjali Yoga Sutras.
Okay.
Nowhere do they mention various asanas, jump around, do this, do that. No, it's just Sthiram Sukham Asanam, that whatever asana you are comfortable in and you are peaceful in, that's your asana.
That's
now,
awesome.
each asana is done slowly, and along with that you chant certain mantras. When those mantras are chanted, the etheric blockages begin opening up. When the etheric blockages open up, the energy starts moving within the body, and higher centers of the brain, which Dr. Saab can definitely endorse as well, the cortex, which is the higher aspect, which controls the awareness and consciousness in the brain, that begins, even parts of the cortex which are not active, they become activated, and you start experiencing the subtler dimensions of creation, which are not a myth.
Okay. Dr. Mishra, what has been your experience around yoga? As a doctor, do you practice yoga, first of all, sir?
आचार विहार विचार
Okay.
योग का सारा सार इसी में है.
Do you recommend it to your patients?
And what we say, keep the things simple.
Okay.
This is okay. If somebody has a larger interest, can go into all what Shivan is saying. But what we also understand that the world has to move. The whole world cannot get into that mode. Otherwise, who will be there to...
But keep it simple, I guess,
keep it simple.
is the key, right?
And you can practice yoga and make it a way of life.
But sir, isn't it attractive to know that yoga, actually sets you free? I think that's the catchphrase here.
No,
there is not going to be any lifestyle.
It is not catchphrase.
Yeah.
You have to understand what he means by that. Maybe, I don't know whether he also analyzed in that when he says you sets free. Suppose I wanted to achieve something and I tried hard to achieve that, but I failed to do that. Now, I am under tremendous pressure from my peers, from my family, from my friends, school, society. The so and so has not been successful. Yoga can do your meditation. आपका जो मन और चित्त शांत करेगा, उससे you will not bother what he is saying about me. This sets you free. For me, that is freedom. That I don't bother what somebody else is trying to tell about me. Because I am very clear in my
Dr.
head.
Mishra, being one with nature, what let's say what yoga really prescribes, do you think that is one of the missing links in our lives these days, and that's why we are getting so so many diseases?
Was saying, and he also said the same thing. Ambassador also believes in that for last 27 years. What it is doing, cleansing. And what is the best way to cleanse? We have certain organs in the body. Our heart is there, which lungs are there. Lungs absorb oxygen. They send it to the heart. Heart distributes to the rest of the body, in the brain, in all the tissues, in liver, in kidney, which are your vital organs. So, cleansing is by way of, you see, if you saw on Rajpath also in the morning for 40 minutes, if you saw every asana had breathing was a very strong component of yoga.
Right.
And breathing is the best way to cleanse your body. Next comes water. Next comes water because you drink water and it will take away toxins through your kidney, through your liver. So, it is something which we have to understand, and that's why I am saying keep it simple. So, what हमारे जो वैदिक preaching है, सात्विक खाना. He says vegetarianism is a सात्विक खाना, but vegetarianism ऐसा नहीं सारा सात्विक है. हम लोगों ने उसको भी काफी तामसिक बना लिया है स्वाद के लिए, तो वो भी है. तो उसको भी आप करिए enjoy. That's what I'm saying. Keep it simple, not that. But if you every day have that spicy food, you know what is going to happen to your stomach.
You're getting more attracted to the food.
So then we come to the disease processes.
Right.
That what my take on yoga is, or whichever way you want to experience it, whichever way, whether at the meditation, at the brain level, at the physical level, my take on yoga is, it's a very, very important way of life to keep a healthy person healthy.
Okay.
One must understand this.
Okay.
And then next comes how it can help to overcome various disease processes, not all, some disease processes, where you can achieve what cannot be achieved otherwise, or you may undertake lot of efforts and still you may not be cured. Like for example, the cervical spondylosis,
Right.
it's very common.
Uh-huh.
So people don't know how to look, and today now you sit on computer, you are anchoring,
Yeah.
you are sitting on television,
You're more prone to.
more prone to these
That's
things. So if you can learn some yogic kriyaएं with which you sit on chair and can do it, like for glaucoma,
And
for
make it
example.
simple. Yeah.
So yesterday we were talking to a press conference about the advantages of yoga in medicine. So my eye colleague, ex-professor of ophthalmology, Dr. Tanuj Dada, they have done a study. So they say glaucoma, in glaucoma, this kala motiya जिसको कहते हैं, इसमें eye में pressure, there is intraocular pressure goes up, and it's a very common
Okay.
cause of blindness.
Okay.
So simple pranayam and Sudarshan Kriya helps bring down that pressure, and you would not like to do anything which will increase that pressure.
Okay, let me ask Nikita Anand now. Nikita, have you been practicing yoga for a long time, and how has it really changed your life?
Well, I met Yogi Ashwini ji about nearly 10 years back, and before I had met him, I was suffering from a plethora of ailments, as you can say, because, you know, being from the glamour industry and having a very hectic lifestyle, there was a lot of stress, like a lot of us even go through nowadays as well. So, and there was a lot of gymming that I was going through, there was diets that I had been on, you know, world over tested diets. I had been on everything, because being from industry which lays a lot of unnecessary, you know, sort of emphasis on your outward appearance. So, you know, similar was the case with me, and I then suffered from a lower back problem. I had a constant ear, nose, throat problem because I was flying on a daily basis. So all these things sort of, you know, got to me, and I thought I was very healthy. I was living a very healthy lifestyle, but it was a reality check for me, and that's when I met Yogi Ashwini ji. So my journey started with physical ailments, but that was just the beginning. That was just the start. I started with the Sanatan Kriya, which again gets your body into a state of balance and santulan. You know, there is Ayurveda which says that if you're with nature, your body comes into balance, and what we perceive as the physical body is not just the body, it's just one layer. There are 4 other layers, and whatever changes you affect in your nadis and in your energy body, that has its effect on the physical body. What we're doing these days is our emphasis, our focus, our aim, our objective is the physical. That needs to change, and all this happens when you start doing yoga, when you start doing the Sanatan Kriya, because, you know, they say that yoga is the subject of experience, yoga is the subject of the creation, and yoga is the subject of transformation. So this transformation comes into you once you start with regular practices.
Okay, okay, let me get back to the question of, okay, Shivan, can you please can you please suggest, or maybe, you know, demonstrate some asanas for the viewers, since Nikita has been standing for this long.
Yeah.
Let's just start with some asanas, and then we'll take the discussion forward.
Well, I just want to say a few things before we go into this.
Right.
First of all, Nikita doesn't get tired anymore.
Okay.
Since the time she's met Yogi ji, and since the time she started practicing yoga in the proper way. See, yoga, when you find a guru, that brings all the simplicity in your life. Everything just happens in front of your eyes. You see it happening the way you want it to happen. It's something I have experienced personally. I suffered from a hereditary back problem.
Okay.
I never did anything. I just used to meet Yogi ji. I used to tell him that this is what I'm having. He said, start doing this basic practice, and gave me specific mantras for that. Today, I can balance someone even 100 kgs on my back. If you want, I can prove it right now. It's something, we do everything practically, as I said. So, yoga is very, very practical, and you need to understand that the physical is the first byproduct. Byproduct is the word you need to understand. Physical glow, beauty, like when you will see Nikita, she doesn't apply any makeup. Coming from the glamour field, today she doesn't apply any makeup. You'll see the glow on her face. I don't go to any gym. My body looks the way I want it to look whenever I want it to look. That's what yoga is. It awakens the higher centers which bring about all the change in the physical body. Etheric, through the etheric, you achieve whatever you want in the physical. But first you understand the etheric. Today what we'll do right now is, we'll be doing specific asanas. Nikita will be demonstrating them, and we'll be practicing she'll be chanting certain mantras which have been given to her by Yogi ji.
Okay.
Now, mantras, see, you need to understand just one thing. A song is something that you hear and you can enjoy. A mantra is something that you feel and you experience. So, as the viewers are watching, I'll request you, when Nikita is chanting a certain mantra and performing a specific asana, just try and feel the chant. You'll feel the vibrancy. Try and experience that. So, right now what we'll start with is, as Nikita will begin with Vriksh. As you focus on her, you will be able to feel the stability inside and the chant, vibrancy of the chant. It's the frequency of the sound. That frequency invokes certain energies which have the effect on the body. The deeper she'll go into the asanas, the more heat will start generating inside the body. And the pulse rate actually starts dropping.
Can anyone do these asanas, Shivan? Or is it that only people who've been practicing it for some time can do it?
See, asanas are something that are given by the Guru. I will recommend, don't watch TV or read from books, as Ambassador Sir had said. That you will confuse it for gymnastics. You will confuse it for a lot, because for yoga you need a Guru, not a book, not a teacher.
Okay, let me then ask Dr. Mishra also about this. Dr. Mishra, do you see that there is a science here, a science involving the sound, which is a very interesting aspect of yoga? And has it been studied at all by doctors like you?
See, what I think Shivan is saying, and what Ashwini ji also said, and Ambassador also believes, and we all know, energy, ऊर्जा शरीर में का प्रवाह कैसे हो सकता है. आप सुबह सूर्य नमस्कार करते हैं, ऊर्जा का प्रवाह होता है शरीर में. सो सूर्य नमस्कार, एंड आई से अगेन द सेम थिंग, they with whatever faith you belong to, you are a human being, you want to remain healthy. If you don't do Surya Namaskar thinking that it's some ex-religion oriented thing, you can do it. We all need 15 minutes sun's light every day to our body to synthesize vitamin D. In India, can you imagine, this is a paradox, that this much sun and we still, large population is vitamin D deficient. So in some way, how are you, because none of us now stand in sun, even if sun is in plenty, everybody feels warm, everybody feels heat of the sun. So if you are doing Surya Namaskar, besides whatever other things it is doing through your sound, through your, you can take it very simple way to learn that it will compensate for your vitamin D synthesis in the body.
Okay.
So take things in that positive environment.
All right.
Now what this can do, you can control your mind or brain or whatever you call it, and that's why you say while doing this exercise, he says heart rate has come down. Or asan, it has come down. Rather than going up, you do exercise, the heart rate goes up.
Okay.
It doesn't come down. So, and that is what Swami Ram, when he says, I saw him
Right.
in 1973, and he was trying to demonstrate,
Okay.
I can stop my heartbeat, and is still alive. So,
But since there was in fact a mention of the exercise and the asana aspect, let me ask you here, Ambassador Ouedraogo, how has been your experience regarding these asanas, and do you also believe in the power of mantra or the science of sound and other related aspects, and do you think that this is entirely a package and yoga should be rather seen in that manner and not be divided into or looked upon as one specific thing is picked up as the whole definition of yoga, which is usually the physical fitness part?
Thank you. I think that we have to speak according to the context. You see, first of all, I agree fully with what was said by Shivananda regarding the mantras, the energy, and so on. But what I want to say is that basically, when you see the asanas, the various asanas that she made right now, many of them come from the observation of the nature. You see, you have some asanas who are the position of some animal, like cat, And naturally, as the doctor said, when you are doing this exercise, you saw when she was doing that, when she bent her back, the stomach is going in. But it is not only the stomach who is going in, she's pushing her diaphragm. That is why sometimes we call the asanas intrasize, not yoga exercise, but the exercise of the internal organ. And rightly, like the doctor say, the diaphragm play a capital role in yoga practice. You cannot practice yoga if you are a chest breather. Generally, chest breathers are full of stress. You increase your stress. You do your pranayama. If you're stress breather, you will make pain to yourself. So the basic step generally in the yoga practice is to bring us back to our origin. Like when you see the new baby is born, you observe the baby, how he's breathing. It looks like all his full body is breathing. But progressively, when you are growing up, you miss all these reflex. You forgot what you are breathing by your diaphragm. And in fact, yoga brings you back to yourself, as what you were saying. It's bring you back to yourself. Now, if I say that we have to situate it according to the context, I'm coming from Africa. In Africa, we don't have gurus.
We found one.
In Africa, we don't have gurus. In Africa, we are surrounded by our tradition. Our tradition, our local tradition also is very close to the yoga tradition. We are crossed by many religions. But what I always say, yoga is just a platform from where everyone can come to take the best. As we say, if you have a healthy body, you have a healthy mind. Healthy mind resides in healthy
Ambassador
body.
Ouedraogo, but do you think that the world is able to get the right message about yoga? Because what we are discussing now is another dimension of the yoga. So what is your experience around
I
that?
think that the world is able
Okay.
to take the message. First of all, let's take the message very simply.
keep it
Let's
simple.
work.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's
As he's saying, Ambassador is very right.
Right.
It's not. He's saying Africa. In India, where do you find guru? So
you do,
I
sir.
think no. Let's not
Okay,
get into that.
okay.
No, we are all.
Let's not get into that.
I found one.
See,
Everyone can find.
If all people go to his ashram, also he will not be able to accommodate that.
No, we can.
So
Anyone's welcome.
I think that is something. That's what I said first thing. Keep it simple.
You're
If
saying
you
that
make
it's
it more
difficult.
complicated,
Right.
its uptake would be less.
Right.
If you keep it simple, its take would be much more, and that is what we want.
But you know what
the
I know.
importance of yoga.
Yeah.
Yoga, as I say, is a platform. when you practice yoga, you become to be aware. Your awareness is increasing.
But both you and Shivan have said the same thing, that you, if you practice it through a book, you may not be able to reach the right subject. You need somebody to take you through the right
there
track.
are enough people who can guide you through how you should do, what you should do at your age, which asana would be right, which asana would not be right. These things
No,
can be
I mean,
done.
Shivan, I ask you again. I'll ask you again about this, because you see, is it just about organs? Is it just about the physical fitness? Because you know, you talk about an etheric body, which I think the science will not be.
Okay,
I say
I want to say,
but I will have
you know,
little bit of difference.
You know what I want to
with
say
him
is that
everybody finds a guru, one-to-one guru. It's not easy to find,
Okay.
and one may not be able to find ever.
No, sir,
Have you got a guru?
I'll give you a very very clear.
Let me.
I'll give you a very very
because
clear.
I'll ask you, sir, I'll
Shivanand
ask you,
is using more the word gurus. Let's use the word masters. If you say masters, we can find yoga masters who can
No,
introduce
you
you
can
to
find
the
yoga
basics.
masters, but you
And the
need to
masters
understand.
progressively, it is a matter of
And
growth.
it is not
Okay.
only
You will
Dhyan
find
Foundation
yoga
alone.
masters.
There are
Okay.
many other people.
That's
doing
right.
it.
You will find
Absolutely.
yoga masters,
Absolutely.
but you need to understand that yoga is an experience which only the guru can give you.
Otherwise,
As-
Ramdev Sahib
no,
is
no, you
doing
need to
so many
understand.
camps
Yeah,
and
no.
doing and
True,
my
true,
assistant,
true,
and
true.
we must give credit to him
Absolutely.
to popularize it.
Absolutely.
Sir,
I
the
think
thing
all
is
of
that-
all the people who are propagating the message of yoga
That's right.
have to be given
Whichever
the,
Shalini, that's
the
important, yes.
contribution that they are
Whatever time you
making
can
to the
take.
Indian
That is
culture. I
important,
think that's
sir,
a very
but
crucial aspect.
it's
But
a
you
remarkable
no,
step.
just talk about, you see, because there is a lot of, you know, you see, whenever the word guru comes into the picture, people start looking at it from a different perspective.
That's exactly why
I mean,
I'm-
I'll take you back to what Yogi Ashwini also said, that a person who's wearing a yellow
Yeah.
would be seen as somebody who's come up with another, you know, another set of followers who would
Yes.
like to attract more people towards themselves. Is it beyond that? I mean, Shivan, just explain us the science behind it.
Yes. See, there are a lot of things that I need to clarify here. A guru has no synonym in any other language. We can call him a master, but no, the guru is the only one who can give you the experience, and it is easy to find a guru. It's very easy. Improve your karmas. If I can, someone like me with a sort of lifestyle that I've come from, with the sort of background I have come from, I could be found in most of the Delhi pubs after 8 p.m. throughout my teenage years. If from that I can reach a healthy mind and a body, anyone can find a guru.
And
there is nothing.
what do you mean by improving your karma? Because, you know, there's a
Charity
lot
and
you said
service
about-
through Dhyan Foundation. We have a lot of charitable activities. Start feeding stray cows. Start feeding hungry people. Start feeding them. Help someone without the expectation of getting helped yourself. Improve your karmas. Help. Serve humanity. Aid this creation. Aid the positive forces which are running this creation. That's all you need to do, and your guru will come to you.
Okay.
You need to understand. And
Okay.
at the Dhyan Ashram, everyone's welcome. We can accommodate as many.
Fine.
people.
Let me ask Nikita now. Sir, just a moment. Let me ask Nikita. Nikita, what is so special about you know, chanting these mantras as you just did, and you in fact have there is certain vibration that one can feel in the studio also at this point of time. But what is it that you would like to add from your experience, and what is it that you would like to in fact suggest to people? Because there are many people, I'm sure, many celebrities, many of us who appear on television who are so, you know, who have these concerns around our looks and our overall well-being, because we work like tirelessly for hours. So there are a lot of health risks that one faces. What is your advice to all of them?
Well, Shalini, there are two questions that you've asked. The first is your question about mantras. Now, mantras are basically codified form of energy. That's what a mantra is. And again, I'll come back to the same point which Shivan has also made before, which is that we need to stop having an isolated approach of just the physical body, because that's the only thing which we can see with our naked eye. So we think that's the be all and end all. It's the last layer. So let's stop having this isolated approach that everything we want, we're going to do it. And that's where the, you know, that's where the desperation of wanting to look a certain way, and therefore in a fit of desperation trying anything and everything. One aspect is, yes, exercise, so you don't realize the you know, the harmful effect of gymming. I myself have experienced it. One is that. Another thing is, in this desperation, one is trying to do you know, bodily harm to your body, trying out all sorts of exercises. The other thing is, there's a lot that's available on the television these days, unfortunately, where people are offering all kinds of solutions. Totka, upay, आप ये कर लो, आप वो कर लो, you know, quick fix solutions. There is no quick fix.
Okay.
In yoga, there is nothing which is quick fix, you know, which is why again, whatever the imbalance is, you remove that from the root. You remove the imbalance so that your body comes into balance. So, what I have learned and what I have experienced is after meeting Yogi Ashwini ji is that you can't have this isolated approach. If you are doing something, do something wholeheartedly, accept it in totality. Because just having an isolated approach is not going to help you.
Okay.
Because then again, you will only look at asanas, and again you will look at asanas from the point of view of an exercise,
Okay.
which it is not.
Okay.
So let's
Fine.
not do that.
To do a needle's job.
Fine. Ambassador Vidrago, how do you think that the countries should take this message forward? Because that's something which one will have to see. And how do you look at the contribution that the Vedic culture, the Indian culture has made in this direction?
I think that the contribution who has been made, you know, what we experiment this morning or what is going on today, I used to say that the first envoy of the Indian culture to the world is yoga. You see, wherever place you are going today in the world, in any country, if I take all West Africa, in any country of West Africa, I have friends who are doing yoga, you see. And the contribution of yoga is what? Yoga, the goal is what? Is not in our current life, as we used to say in the scripture, to reach the samadhi, you see. But if we can make peace with ourselves, we can make peace with our family, our children. We can make peace with those with whom we are working in our different services. We can be able to achieve peace between nations. And similarly, I really enjoy the time of my interaction with the government of India, with all the team that I met in the External Affairs Ministry. Because those who are building friendship, it is us. We are sitting here. If we are dedicated to build, to reinforce our friendship, we are able to achieve it. But to achieve it, we need to have a peaceful mind, a healthy body.
And there lies the development, you know, the development of the countries can also be ensured.
Your
by
efficiency
Absolutely.
goes up.
That's
If
right.
you have a peace of mind,
That's right.
your
Both
efficiency
individually and
goes
also
up.
as a nation.
This is
Yes.
the first thing. The
Right.
second thing, what I really appreciate is that this is a strong message to say we have to save our culture.
That's right.
It is not only the Indian culture. We have also a very rich culture in Africa who are moving out, who are disappearing because we don't have the next generation who are well prepared to take it over.
Okay.
You see.
Fine,
So,
fine. So I think there are lot of questions too, which really, you know, I think people should explore it more.
Yeah.
And this panel, in fact, has opened up some more avenues to ensure that, you know, we can do more research, we can come up with more.
Experience it.
Let's experience
Experience
it. I think let's wrap up the discussion on that. Yoga is all about experience. Shivan, last words. I really have to conclude
Yes,
this.
yes. I'll just like to say that it is a beautiful step that our respected Prime Minister has taken to bring everyone on a common platform. He has brought yoga, he's brought the whole world together on the same platform. Now it will be interesting to see what happens next. Let's bring out yoga in the right form.
Okay, fine. So on that note, we'll wrap up this discussion. Thank you very much, Nikita, for demonstrating those asanas and for sharing your experiences with us. And thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us here. That's all we have for you in this very special presentation. Keep doing yoga and try and explore the full potential of your life. Well, that has been the slogan, and also the purpose of your life, something that we'd like to add from our side. Thank you very much. Goodbye.